Test, test.
They almost lost in the semifinals, or in the like something and 5.
Yeah, don't they suck?
Us?
No, Ben.
Oh, I don't know about Ben. Yeah. I think we're something 5 or 6, maybe. Oh, 29-7, so still better. We just didn't play as much games. We played 6 games less. Oh wait, no.
Oh wait, but that was.
Yeah. But that's.
This was before.
Yeah.
Is this just
No,
one,
after like every
playoffs?
game. Yeah.
Is this just one game?
No, there's 3 games to get to state.
No, like no.
No, today was 1 game.
You gonna be sitting on this?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jim Turner Field. We are thrilled to have you join us for another exciting night of Williamsburg Raider softball. Tonight's matchup is a first-round playoff showdown as the Vinton-Shellsburg Vikings take on your Williamsburg Raiders in first-round playoff action. Join next to me. Steph will be here in a little bit, but Grady Rich is next to me. Grady, how you doing, man?
Good.
Grady's here. As we get things rolling here, a little bit of a weather delay, a little bit of weather all over the state of Iowa just popping up out of nowhere, causing a couple of delays here. But as we get rolling here, we're going to be getting the starting lineup here going shortly. But the Raiders come into tonight's game as the two-time defending Class 3A state champs, proudly carrying the legacy of back-to-back titles in 2023 and 2024 with their sights set on potential three-peat and a deep playoff run going into July. Again, last year, as we look at the season, Williamsburg capped a 33-12 season with a 12-9 victory over the Davenport Assumption Knights in the 3A title game last year. 8 starters are back on this team, led by 3 All-Staters, first-teamer Jersey Mets, and second-teamers Ali Gorsh and McKenna Hughes. We'll get some season statistics, some season milestones from a lot of players as well. But as we look at these teams, it's going to be a first-round playoff action. This bracket is one that is kind of, you look at it in the Raiders, a lot of these teams, when you look up and down the bracket, a lot of up and down teams. Eagle Grove coming in at 15-10 on the bottom side of the bracket. Humboldt as well, those two teams placing. When we look at the bracket right now, it's going to be a lot of those teams. Raiders end up getting this next W. They will see another WAMAC showdown most likely in the Benton Bobcats. And if the Raiders win all the way through, they will host every game in the Class 3A Region 2 playoffs. But as we look at this bracket on the top left side, Williamsburg and the Vikings of Vinton-Shellsburg, the Bobcats of Benton are hosting Iowa Falls Alden, and a Greenwood Park and softball field at Eagle Grove hosting Clearing Goldfield and Dows, and then at the bottom side of the bracket, right, hosting at Humboldt hosting Garner Hayfield Ventura. So GFV heading on the road against Humboldt. So up and down the bracket, 3A ball, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. It's going to be great. But Grady, you ready for some softball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Grady's the one word wizard. He's the best at it. But no, as we get things rolling here, the Raiders have been clobbering the ball recently. We'll dive into a lot more statistics later. A lot of those 430 averages over as we look at statistics later. But just a pre-postseason school record and career milestones. Shout out to Coach Birdie for posting this on Twitter, now X. School records, McKenna Hughes, career stolen bases with 188, season solo bases with 54 stolen bases, among the top 5 out of all classes in the state of Iowa. Career runs 197 and single season runs 48. And then a couple other career milestones for the 100-hit club for the Raiders softball team. Taylor Sanchez, Carly Rich, and Ali Gorsh. 150 hits for senior Taylor Pitlick and senior McKenna Hughes. And 100 RBI to the first baseman Taylor Pitlick. And then Jersey Mets. So that's 2 more years left. 60 wins and 300 strikeouts on the career so far. So an unbelievable start to Mets' career here. Still 2 more years left in the campaign. We got the fun hats down there. Grady, what are we seeing down there? We're seeing a Dr. Seuss hat. What else are we seeing down there? Seeing the Uncle Sam hat? Are we seeing the Uncle Sam hat? We seeing the
cowboy hat.
The cowboy hat. We got the whole squad up here. We got Ben Stoner, Reed Becker, all the 8th grade legends going into the class next year. But as the weather clears, there is plenty of people here tonight. The outfield is full. The stands are full. Should be a great game of playoff first round action tonight. The Vikings coming to Williamsburg for the first round. Winner will play the winner of Benton and Iowa Falls Alden. So that second round action as Coach Birdie comes up to exchange with the umpires. We'll dive later into the umpires and stuff. The Raiders are coached by Adam Birdie, assisted by Carly Campbell, Shannon Finn, Gwen Mays, and Jacob Hollop. And for the Vikings are coached by Adam Fish and assisted by Jay Bridgewater and Todd Grayland. Should be a great evening of softball here at Jim Turner Field in Williamsburg, Iowa. But as we look at these teams, both up and down, we've seen some things not go both teams' ways. You know, Williamsburg ended their season with a doubleheader sweep over the Cedar Rapids Prairie Hawks in a fashion there. The Raiders getting both of those victories, and then the Vikings ending their season in a doubleheader against the Marion Wolves. Not playing their best, getting run ruled in both of those games. So, you know, both of these games are coming in, you know, Raiders coming into this one 30 wins, 7 losses, and to the Vinton-Shellsburg Vikings coming into this one with 6 wins and 29 losses. Like we said, playoffs, anything can happen within any sport you watch. That's what's amazing about Iowa high school sports. Anything is possible, anything has happened. But the Raiders, like we said, looking for that three-peat coming into the action tonight. Once again, thank you to everyone who watches the live stream. Playoff action is the best when it comes to playoff softball. You know, we've already, not even the live stream started. We hadn't even getting rolling yet, and we already had like 51 viewers, so it was awesome. But yeah, like we said, playoff softball, we'll get things rolling here shortly. We'll get the lineups going up and down. But Grady, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Looking forward to hits, some home runs, hopefully.
Is it pretty cool to watch your sister play? You know,
Yeah.
Senior night tonight, it's really cool to watch her play.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's always been awesome to be with Grady and staff watching Carly. Another playoff game, the last playoff hurrah for these seniors. It's been an incredible ride for them up and down the lineup. As we're going to get past the headphones around here, Steph's got the Diet Coke. She's ready to go as we get things rolling here. We're going to be introducing lineups. Terry will have his music here.
How did Grady do?
I got to say, Grady did pretty well, Steph.
Yeah?
I got to
Cool.
say you did well.
Love when we can get the kids involved, and appreciate the girls' union, of course, letting us put this on. You know, when we get the students involved, and we'll hopefully get some of the seniors up here after the game. They let us do it for free. So even if they didn't, Coach King's so awesome, and we would have put it up anyway. So.
We haven't even introduced lineups, and we already have 92 people watching.
92?
This is cinema. This is cinema, and you've got the
This is
music.
playoff Raider softball.
This is
We got
playoff
92.
Raider softball. You know, it's
And it's a
this
full
is
night.
great. Oh, it's a beautiful night. You know, the weather got away.
Hey.
Man, it's no better week. You started your week with basketball camp, and you're at the softball diamond now. There's
Yeah.
nothing better, Steph.
Yeah, no, it's been. I was picking up my son, and all of a sudden, all the softball girls started showing up at the gym, and just pivot and get some batting in there. And luckily, we have those facilities. So, field looks great. Kudos to everybody who worked on that.
And the home team on the scoreboard, the Williamsburg Raiders.
Once again, now introducing the starting lineup for the Vikettes and the Raiders here.
First for the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Vinton Vikettes.
The Vinton-Shellsburg Vikettes coming into this one with 6 wins and 29 losses. Now introducing the starting lineups. You've got Terry's music for the absolute, ultimate starting lineup.
Leading off, patrol center field is number 2.
And now for the Vikettes, leading off and playing center field, number 2, Camden Earhart. Batting second, pitching for the Vikettes, number 4, Harper Rubish. Batting third for the Vikettes, left fielder, number 9, Addie Kowali. Batting fourth for the Vikettes, shortstop, number 11, Grace Fish. Batting fifth for the Vikettes, catching, number 8, Taylor Bridgewater. Batting sixth for the Vikettes, first base, number 10, Phoebe Turk. I'm trying to be in sync with Terry here. That's great. Batting seventh for the Vikettes, designated player, number 7, Olivia Hedrick. Batting eighth for the Vikettes, third baseman, number 22, Addison Fippen. Batting ninth for the Vikettes, right fielder, number 14, Zoe McClintock. And your flex player for the Vikettes, number 13 playing second base, number 13, Hayden Fippen. Once again, the Vikettes are coached by Adam Fish, assisted by Jay Bridgewater and Todd Grayland. The starting lineup for the Vikettes.
Those are the Vikettes.
Got the Vikettes lineup introduced here for first round playoff action here as we get things rolling. And now, it's time for your Williamsburg Raiders. Jim Turner Field, nothing but pure goosebumps here.
Team on the scoreboard. Leading off.
For the Raiders, leading off and playing third base, number 11, McKenna Hughes. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 3, Carly Rich. Batting third and playing left field, number 6, Allie Gorsh. Batting cleanup for the Raiders, first baseman, number 8, Taylor Pitlick. Batting fifth for the Raiders, second baseman, number 2, Taylor Sanchez. Batting sixth for the Raiders, in the circle, pitching number 17, Jersey Mets. Batting seventh for the Raiders, right fielder number 5, Callan Spratt. Batting eighth for the Raiders, the designated player number 15, Kylie Allen. Batting ninth for the Raiders, center fielder number 12, the ever-so-speedy Ava Hooker. And the flex player for the Raiders, rounding out the lineup, number 16, catching number 16, Lily Ness. And you know the extended Raider coaching. But the Raiders are coached by Adam Birdie, assisted by Carly Campbell, Shannon Finn, Gwen Mays, and Jacob Hollub. I'll be right back for the anthem.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the flag located behind the first base dugout for the singing of our national anthem. Tonight performed by Williamsburg High School alum and current Wartburg College student Landon Jepson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the incomparable Landon Jepson.
Lineups read, national anthem sung. Let's play softball. Here we go as we seen pitching for the Raiders, number 17, Jersey Mets. Behind the plate, catching for the Raiders, number 16, Lily Ness. For the Vikettes, in the top of the first, due up 1, 2, 3, Earhart, Rubish, and Kowali. Due up, once again, defensively for the Raiders, third baseman McKenna Hughes, shortstop Carly Rich, second baseman Taylor Sanchez, in left field Allie Gorshin, center field Ava Hooker, and in right field, rounding out that defense, number 5, Callan Spratt. Our umpires tonight behind the plate calling the balls and strikes is Ryan Krishner. Doing the bases is Fred Griffiths. Once again, thank you to the umpires for all of their work throughout the states. You know, a couple shortages throughout the years that we've seen, but always some of the best umpires you'll find in the state of Iowa right here in Williamsburg. Coach King usually finds the best, Steph.
And there's 2 of them tonight. Sometimes we might get lucky and get 3, but with that many games going on at one night, we usually start this first round with 2 and the second and third probably with 3. Oh, but yeah, we're ready to go. Right on. Coach King said
7:16, you know, a slight of a weather delay, but
yeah.
we're rolling here at Jim Turner Field. Once again, leading off for the Vikets center fielder number 2, Camden Earhart. Called strike. You can see that Raider defense with the adjustment in the infield. Maybe being a slap hitter. Earhart, the sophomore, 18 games started and 20 games played in 48 at-bats, 12 hits. 8 of those being singles, 1 home run and 4 RBIs. Ball a bit upstairs there. Batting this season a .250 and an on-base percentage of a .321, and the OPS sitting right at .717. So, we see the corners in there. Hughes in just in front of the bag. Sanchez as well. We're going to get a called strike 2.
Painted that outside corner. That was nice.
It's one of the best calls, and if you hit that crisp right off the outside corner there, it's one of the best calls in the game. Metz with the 1-2 delivery. That ball will be ripped into center field, but a line out, and that'll drop right in front of the glove of Hooker, and that's the best way the Vikets could start here. Earhart leading off with a single.
Yeah, that was on a rope, right? Ava could have probably, not that she needed to try harder, but maybe one step in, but better to play it off the bounce than to risk something going all the way to the fence this early.
Earhart with the leadoff single into center, now batting for the Vikets. Pitcher number 4, Harper Rubish. Yeah, called strike right on the inside half of the plate. We'll give you guys scoring updates. Hopefully we can get some post-game interviews here. We got to get Coach Birdie up here for one of them. I don't know if he'll ever come up here. It'll be hard, but I think we can get him up here one of these times.
I think so too.
Square for a bunt there. That one lands in play right into the glove of Ness, and that'll be a throw through the glove of Pitlick. Ness with a flamethrower down the first. Just a little bit of a reaction there, and reaches on the air there. Ness fielded it perfectly, but just a flamethrower there, just missing the out.
Yeah, I don't know if she got, it almost looked like she was trying to throw it to Taylor Sanchez, but got confused with the Taylors there. Runners on first and second, no outs. We got to play at any bag here. Obviously a great start for Vinton-Shellsburg. Just an opportunity to have the Raiders kind of settle in, make some plays.
Courtesy runner for the pitcher, Harper Rubish, is number 1, Kara Rollinger. Coming up to the plate now, batting in the third spot for the Vikets, left fielder number 9, Addie Kowali. Not the start the Raiders were looking for. Leadoff single. That bounce looked like it could have maybe gone in the glove of Hooker in center field, but a ball rolled right back to the pitcher. Slow roller. That'll be a routine play. 6-3 put out to Rich, and that'll be the first out. But that's a great sign for putting the ball in play, moving the base runners with 1 out.
Yeah, I had no chance at getting it at third, and like the girls are trained to do, just get the outs. So best thing to do there, just get it to first. Carly had a nice little play there, getting out of her glove quickly and getting that first out.
Earhart and Rollinger moving up another bag. And a great off-speed delivery there from Metz. 1 out here in the top of the first. 1 hit and 1 error for the Raiders here in the top half of the first. Bringing up now, batting in the cleanup spot for the Vikets, shortstop number 11, Grace Fish. Their bunt score-up opportunity. Caught it 1 there, that'll score a run. It looked like the Raiders maybe could have made a play at home there. Rollinger just advanced there just a little bit, and then maybe could have been a double play there, but the run does score, and the Vikets lead early here in the top of the first, 1-0.
And again, trying to get outs. Top of the first. Obviously, Vinton-Shellsburg's coming in. They're swinging the bat really well so far. And again, we just want to get those outs.
Metz with the pitch. Ball's driven towards Gorsh in left field. That's a routine play in left field to end the top of the first. For the Vikets in the top of the first, they score 1 run on 1 hit, 1 Raider error in the field, and 1 Viket left on base. Great job by the Raiders to get out of that jam. 1 out with runners on second and third, but that fielding percentage, that poise from that Raiders defense has been there all year, and a great way to get out of the jam there.
Yeah, and like I said, they just stay composed, and they're ready to make the easy plays. They try not to do anything too crazy. I hate to see that error, but part of the game. Again, top of the first, and now we got to get our bats rolling, where we had a lot of success the last time that we played Vinton-Shellsburg. So
And, that's one thing about playoff softball is too. You just got to get the jitters out. Top of the first. It's one and done now. You just got to get it out. And it's one thing we've always seen. It's the Raiders play their best ball in those later innings when we work the pitching count, when we do a lot of those things, and then when you get those base runners, you let the upperclassmen do their thing and rack those base runners.
Absolutely. We were just played. I say just because it's been over a month, but June 2nd. There was a lot of softball played in between for both teams. So even though it's just been a little bit over a month, a lot of time in between, and certainly a time for both teams to grow and get better. And you're seeing Vinton-Shellsburg, they're going to be aggressive, I think, at the plate. So they have nothing to lose, playing the number 1 seed and coming out hot. So now the time for the Raiders to respond.
In the circle for the Vikings is number 4. For the Vikings, Harper Rubish. Rubish coming into this game 4-11 with 94 2/3 innings pitched, a 4.51 ERA with 107 strikeouts. Both Rubish and Bridgewater have been their 2 main flamethrowers on the season. Rubish leading the team in strikeouts with 107, so should be a great evening though. Coming into this game, Rubish with a 4-11 record, 61 errors, giving up 36 walks and 107 strikeouts. Leading off, the ever so speedy McKenna Hughes. Ball just a bit upstairs there. Hughes coming into this one has been so hot at the plate recently, batting a .434, 3 home runs, 22 RBIs, 7 strikeouts on the season, and 113 at-bats. 49 hits, 36 of those being singles. And like we talked about with the speed, 54 stolen bases on the season, setting that single season Raider record. Ball just a bit upstairs there for Rubish, moving the count to 2-0. And that's
and
the
we
one
missed,
thing.
missed the game on Saturday. She would have had that opportunity and didn't play Muscatine. So there's probably 3 games left on the board there for her to take that to another notch from stolen bases.
Ball just a bit upstairs there, and the discipline at the plate is one thing that we have seen all year from the Raider softball team at the plate. Working the count consistently, finding their best pitch and executing. 3-0 count here. Rubish with the pitch. Be a called strike. Looked a little bit high from up here, but it'll be a called strike. Moving the count to 3-1. 3-1 count here for the leadoff Hughes, the senior third baseman. That ball will be ripped over Coach Birdie's head right down the left field line. That'll move the count to full. This can do it for the Raiders in the bottom of the first. Hughes, Rich, and Gorsh, 1, 2, 3, opening the bottom of the first. The Vikettes opening up the top of the first with a leadoff single. And then an error by the Raiders, and then a 1-out ground out, and then advancing the runners. And then a sacrifice bunt, scoring a Vikette for them to lead now 1-0 here early on. A foul ball driven over the Vikettes dugout over there. Moving the count to full here still. 3-2 here for Hughes. Rubish getting set up on the mound with the pitch. That ball will be left upstairs. A great eye by Hughes, and that'll move her on down to first. Speedy Gonzalez is down there at first baseman for the Raiders now here. 54 stolen bases, and that brings up the dangerous shortstop number 3, Carly Rich. Rich this season in 102 at-bats, 33 hits, 26 of those being singles. And Wales, there's the 55th stolen bag on the year for Hughes. Within the top 5 in all respected categories in the state when it comes to stolen bases. The Carly Rich in 102 at-bats, 33 hits, 26 of those being singles, 1 home run, 28 RBI, 42 total bags on the season, and batting a .324. And ball inside there. We said Hughes now with their first stolen base on the night, moving up to 55 of 58 stolen bases on the season. And that single season record, again, that, like she said, but Steph, like we were talking about earlier, we saw Coach Birdie posted on X that Hughes has the career stolen base mark with 188, the single season stolen base record with 54, now 55, career runs of 197, and the single season runs record all broken this season.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of milestones, and they're really cool for the seniors, this being the senior night as well after this game. That'd be a called strike. Nice take there by Rich. 3-0 delivery there, but, it's...
take those 3-0.
Yeah.
Never understood that, but I
know,
know it's part of the game.
It's sometimes, you always see a pitch in the zone there, and it's always
You
good to
want
see
to.
one. Sometimes the coach will give you the 3-0 green light.
That was inside. I mean, we
Yeah.
had the good angle from up top.
The
And
Vinton-Shellsburg parents, little
Didn't
mad
want
on
it.
that
Yeah.
one, maybe wanting a call there on the inside part of the plate, but ball just a bit inside, and a nice call there. You're not going to find better umpires than what we have here at the playoff level here. And now batting for the Raiders, left fielder number 6, Allie Gorsh. Hrubish with the pitch. That ball sent over, looked at right over the heads of us. I think we could have caught. I'm telling Grady, Ben, or Reed could have got that one. That was right back at us. That was a little scary. But as Allie Gorsh has been one of the most consistent batters for the Raiders all year, in 109 at bats, 50 hits, batting a .459, 5 home runs, 41 RBIs, and the sacrifice bunt there. And that'll be an error there for the Raiders. And that'll score the Raiders. Wow, the ever so speedy McKenna Hughes, and then the error reaching there, but the one thing that we talked about all season, Steph, you can't give the Raiders extra bases.
No, and Allie is terrific of a long ball hitter, power hitter. We've talked about her power into those swings. She's still willing to lay down that bunt. It makes the defense make a play like that, puts the pressure on them, and then it kind of forces them into that error, allows that run to score.
We said Gorsh coming in with a .459 average. Her 4th sacrifice bunt on the season, reaching first safely on the error by the Vikettes, but brings up another Raider power hitter in number 8, the first baseman, Taylor Pitlick. Pitlick has never been your home run hitter, but is always that base hit machine that a coach is looking for, and Coach Birdie has said consistently all season that it's a rope after rope. Any swing that comes off of Pitlick's bat is going to go somewhere. Now Taylor Pitlick batting a .434 on the season, 43 hits and 99 at bats for Pitlick. No home runs, 26 RBIs, and only 4 strikeouts on the season.
No kidding, only 4 strikeouts.
The Raiders as a team, only 78 strikeouts as a team. And those top 5 hitters, ball driven out towards left field, a sacrifice fly opportunity, and ball just a bit shallow there. Nice play there made in left field by Addie Kowali for the first out.
Yeah, she just got underneath that one. Yeah, she would have loved to have driven that a little bit further to try to get Carly in on the sacrifice tag up. But still great at bat for Taylor, and now she sees it. Now we get Taylor Sanchez up to Pitlick.
Yeah, 1 out here now after the Kowali catch in left field. Brings up another dangerous Raider hitter. The leader in home runs, second baseman number 2, Taylor Sanchez. Sophomore coming into this one, batting a .449 in the season, 6 home runs leading the team. Second on the team in RBIs with 39, right behind Gorsh with 41. That ball's driven out towards left field. That'll a snow cone
Nice
catch by Kowali. They might touch the bag.
Yeah, she definitely tagged up. I mean,
She
I know
definitely tagged up. It was a close. It was
was
a close
close.
bang bang play. The snow cone catch. A
I
great
don't
play there
know.
by Kowali.
Yeah, I mean, she got off of it quick, but she saw that left fielder made a great play on the ball there, and
It's
stuck her
always
glove up.
yeah, it's always smart just to check.
Yep.
It's anything can happen. Sometimes the umpires see both things. And the home plate umpire calling Carly Rich's sacrifice opportunity, and a 2-out single blaze up the middle for Mets, and that'll score Gorsh standing up. Raiders respond quickly now, leading 3-1. And that's the perfect at-bat of what Mets is looking for. You attack the first pitch, like a fastball right down the middle, and Mets executed with a 2-out single. And no better place to hit it than right up the middle. We're going to get a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Coming to pinch run, looks like number 1, Keston Spratt.
And Jersey's been hitting the ball really well. I mean, she typically is pitching the first game and then still batting in that second game. And you have all the numbers, but I just feel like from last season to this season, she's improved so much as a hitter and certainly a big threat for the Raiders.
Yeah, we've seen when you look at Mets' stats on the season, batting a 360, and it's gone up. No home runs at 29 RBIs, and the discipline at the plate only 7 strikeouts. Now brings up another Raider hitter who's been a powerhouse. We saw it last summer in the playoffs. Hit a home run or two out of Jim Turner Field. Brings up the ever so dangerous right fielder, number 5, Callan Spratt. Callan Spratt, 1 home run and 28 RBIs, batting a 369 on the season. Rubish with the delivery, ball driven right towards Coach Birdie, and a great play there made by head coach.
Have any of you boys made a barehanded play before? No? Coach Birdie was a heck of a baseball player. I don't know if you guys know that.
Coach Birdie's got cat-like reflexes. Yeah. You guys have no idea. He's one of a kind.
I think he said he was a shortstop.
Oh, yeah, he was. Kesson with the stolen base on a quick tag opportunity there. A really quick stretch and tag there made by Fish at shortstop, but Spratt getting in there just in time. Spratt on the season, when we look at stolen bases, Spratt now 12 of 15 on the season, 28 runs. As we look at some previous contests, Steph, what did we see in the last couple matchups? And that should be a fair ball down the third baseline, and that'll score. Spratt standing up, the Spratt to Spratt connection there.
Love
Sisters, the one getting the RBI and the one knocking in as the pinch runner for the pitcher. Raiders now lead 4-1. But as we saw earlier this season, what was the outcome of this doubleheader?
We played doubleheader. I believe the Raiders won the first one 8-0, followed by the second one 13-1. I can't remember which game was which, but Raiders were able to put the bat to the ball pretty quickly. It had a couple strikeouts, a little uncharacteristic of the Raiders. But again, if we just put that ball in play, just good things happen with our base running. Let them put the pressure on, see if the Vikets can make the errors.
Ball just gets over the head of the first baseman, and Spratt will score standing up. The Raiders' speed on the bases has been here left and right. We saw the quick start there by the Vikets with the Raiders. Already responding with 5 runs here in the bottom of the first. Allen coming into this one batting a 400, 1 home run that Steph and me got to call in a pinch hit situation right down the left field line, right over the foul pole earlier this season. But Allen delivers in the designated player position with an RBI single just over the head of first baseman Phoebe Turk.
And Kylie's been swinging the bat really well. Monday night I thought she had a great game against Cedar Rapids Prairie. Big timely hits for her. Just seeing her confidence throughout the season just kind of go up and up and up. I feel like one of the things that maybe has changed with her, again, we don't have a lot of video and keep all of our notes, but it kind of felt like she swung at some bad pitches every once in a while, got herself popped up in the infield. So now I just love seeing her sit back and wait for those pitches and put some power to it.
Smart call there by Coach Fish just to give a talk to the infield here. 2 outs. We started this game strong, but just got to keep on executing. Now batting for the Raiders, center fielder number 12, Ava Hooker.
I'll tell you what, the catcher for the Vikets, she's got an arm on her. She can buzz it down to first, and obviously tried to get that play out. It was a very close play. She's got the arm strength. I think she's just a little bit slower getting the ball out of the glove down there. Otherwise, she's a fantastic catcher.
Yeah, you really don't see velocity on a catcher's arm like Lily Ness. No, Ness has a flamethrower. And Bridgewater, you saw that throw to second base. It was a bang-bang play.
Yep.
And Bridgewater threw a great ball to Fish at second base, and it was a close play. But the Raiders' speed, like we talked about, Spratt's just another stolen base in the double ditches for the Raiders. And, stolen bases and base running has been a major, major tactic for the Raiders all season. A close call there, just a bit outside there. A nice eye there for Hooker. Raiders have almost batted through the lineup completely. McKenna Hughes on deck as the leadoff. The ball will be driven into the left center gap, a rope into the left center gap, and that should score. Kylie Allen standing. Ava Hooker with the stand-up double into left center. We've seen a lot of those hits, and it's the quick bat speed, the execution, and bang, one hop to the fence into the left center gap for Hooker. Raiders now lead 6-1.
Probably going to get sick of me saying this. Even, Ava's been hitting the ball really well these last, week and putting things against the fence. And of course, with her speed, doubles can turn into triples. And, it's just fun to see her success, especially the last 2 seasons. Her as just a stolen base machine and getting to be a threat at the plate as well.
Yeah, that was Hooker's fourth double on the season, her 28th hit, batting a .355, and then a quick ground on a nice play there made by Viket shortstop Grace Fish to end the bottom of the first. For the Raiders in the bottom of the first, they score 6 runs on 5 hits, 1 Viket error in the field, and 1 Raider left on base. Due up for the Vikets in the top of the second, Turk, Hedrick, and Fippen. A great fire back from the Raiders here in the bottom of the first. Saw one miscue from the Vikets in the field, but a quick response from the Raiders, and then base hits. Spratt's double down the left field line. We had the left center gap double. Kylie Allen's single just getting over the head of Turk at first base.
Well, and it starts off with those 2 walks. We get McKenna and Carly on base, and it kind of gives you some extra base runners with no outs. And then we got to start the bottom of the second at the top of the order.
But Hughes, Raiders in the bottom of the second will be 2-3-4. That's like that throw just right there.
Yep.
From the knees. It's unbelievable. But as we look at the live stream here, 166 people watching.
Wow.
This is awesome. Steph's getting goosebumps up here.
That's great.
It's so awesome. We got our comments. Nate Adair, let's go Raiders.
That's
and
Carly's uncle. Yep.
Mrs. Weegan, one of the best music teachers I ever had. Great job in the anthem. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
It's so awesome that we can have this YouTube channel, and nothing can be done without Coach King. He's so busy all the times, and the Raider baseball team travels to Van Horn tomorrow for their first round against Class 3A ranked the Benton Bobcats. So both playoff runs, both the Raider baseball team and the Raider softball team could meet up with the Bobcats, depending on the outcomes. The Raiders will play the Bobcats first round. Anything can happen like we've seen in baseball. We just saw Iowa Valley Tigers upset number 4 Southeast Warren last night. So it was a huge upset.
Yep.
And now that region is completely open with a lot of base teams around the area, which is so cool.
The thing with baseball compared to softball is just about the pitching. So if your arms are saved for that first round matchup, win or go home, and maybe you are an under 500 team, you just never know what you're going to go up against. And you got to throw your best and make sure that your best is rested.
And the Raiders are so capable of doing that. Lately,
Absolutely.
They've been really hitting the ball well. It's a couple of outcomes that haven't come their way, but, the battle and the consistency that we've seen from the Raiders. Ball just fouled over the Raider dugout towards the Raider fans. And a great at-bat here for the first base, number 10, Phoebe Turk. Turk coming into this game, batting a 153, 11 strikeouts, 11 hits on the season, 8 of those being singles, 3 doubles, no home runs, and 12 RBI for the first baseman. And a nice pitch from Metz to get her off balance there with the off speed and a routine ground ball. Therefore, Metz the heel click in the outfield. Cha-ching, ba-blam. 1 out here now for the Raiders, and it brings up for the Vikets. Designated player number 7, Olivia Hedrick. Hedrick on the season. And a called strike on the inside half for Metz. Hedrick on the season batting a 174, 4 hits, 4 singles, no home runs, 3 RBI for the senior. Metz with the pitch. Oh, and a nice pitch. That's just the off-speed pitch. We've
pretty nasty.
Just over the years, we've seen the off-speed pitch from so many Raider softball pitchers. Driscoll had a just disgusting off-speed changeup. That off-speed, and then Metz even delivery, really changing the eyes and the spin on that ball. Slow roller towards Hughes at third, and a routine ground ball play. Nice play there by Hughes. But as we look at the Raiders as a team in Class 3A, fielding has been one of their strong suits. Raiders as a team, second in stolen bases with 147. Batting average coming in at second behind Sumner Fredericksburg as a team batting a .392 in Class 3A. The fielding percentage at number 1 in Class 3A at a .969. As a team, that is unbelievable. Ball just a bit down low there. Now batting for the Viquettes, third baseman number 22, Addison Fippen. But Steph, it's crazy. You know, you look at the statistics here, up and down, the Raiders top 5 in so many statistical categories. And, you know, that's one thing that Coach Birdie's always harped on, you know, play the game.
Yep.
Don't worry about stats. Play your game. And, you know, I even asked them, as some, Ali Gorsh, I asked Taylor Sanchez, they have no idea what their stats are.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they glance at them sometimes, but they are so locked in. Every game, every part of the year, it's unbelievable the success that you do.
And I think for this group of seniors, just talking to Carly the other day, this might be the first team that Coach Birdie has had where they've won 30 games in the regular season.
Yes.
So super proud of those girls for just always just continuing to win.
You look it up at the board, you know, it's been a consistency, but the consistency that we saw with 2024, 30-12, the Raiders in the playoffs. But, you know, it's that Williamsburg team as well at 33-9 on the regular season. It's super nice that we have these boards. And that called strike 3 for Mets to end the top of the second for the Viquettes. But, you know, it's really cool that we've seen the Raiders up and down the lineup. You know, every seed, you know, Williamsburg, you know, that not the outcome that they wanted there on the 2023. It's super awesome that they got to sign that. But the Raiders winning it in 2023 and the Raiders winning it in 2024. We've got these back-to-back state championships. Raiders looking to three-peat. As I've got the good old wood up here, which I always can knock on, which is my best friend in the playoffs. You know,
My son keeps asking, when are we going to go to Fort Dodge? And we're like, okay, well, we don't.
And that's,
we don't like to assume too much, and
that's,
I just like that he enjoys going so much.
No, he's got the
games.
mindset. He's got the mindset.
But
Mom, I want to go to Fort Dodge and watch playoff softball.
He likes Kona Ice at playoff softball, and let's see, Fort Frenzy, and the pool. So I think the softball is just an afterthought for him, but I think he might be the only kid in Iowa who enjoys vacationing in Fort Dodge.
You know, he's got the Kona Ice. You know, Tony might put on some WWE too while the softball game's going on. You know, it's awesome to see, but no runs scored for the Viquettes in the top of the second. No runs on no hits, no Raider errors in the field, and no Viquettes left on base. Do it for the Raiders in the bottom of the second, the heart of the lineup, 2, 3, 4. And Steph, you know, we've talked countless times again and again. You know, the 6 through 9 part of the lineup has been very consistent for the Raiders, but that 1 through 5 has been just that solid, just foundation of the lineup all season long.
Yeah, it's a special group. I know you've got 4 seniors in a row that go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Taylor Sanchez. Even though I got an opportunity to coach the girls in basketball and have this whole senior night, I think I might be more emotional about this senior group ending softball because it's just been so fun to watch their success. And you know, I've talked about Ali Gorsh, who literally turned herself into one of the best softball players in the state. Like, that young lady was not on varsity her 8th grade, 9th grade year, and she put the work in along with all the girls. But I just kind of point out, you know, Ali in general, just because of the success she has, and then going to go play college softball.
The growth that we've seen from last season with Gorsh, the one thing that always is, it's the bat speed. Like, just watching her on deck, prepare her at bats, you can hear the swoosh of the bat. The bat speed is just incredible. Her taking accounts to Kirkwood next season to play softball. A ball in the dirt there. Nice idea there.
So you've probably done all this math. Like, how many games have these girls played? This senior group?
You know, it's crazy to think. You can just add them up right here. It's 33-9 with some of them. That's got 42 there. Ball driven towards right field, and that'll be a routine play there in right field. Nice play there by Zoe McClintock to retire Rich. And now batting for the Raiders, left fielder number 6, Ali Gorsh. But, you know, we can add her up right here now. So the Raiders in 2023, 33-9, so 42, plus another 42, so 84 total games, and then they're 30-7. So we've got, I don't know if a lot of these, but between the last 3 years, 84 plus 37, 121 total games
Wow.
between the last 3 seasons. And that's not even it.
Yeah.
There can be so more, you know.
And they
There
play a
could
lot of
even
fall
be
ball, spring
oh my
ball.
gosh. Ball driven towards the foul territory. Now a ball will go out of play into foul territory. You know, a great adjustment there. You know, it's like we talked about the senior class, the 3-4-5, especially in the Raider lineup. All of those batters batting over 440. It's unreal. It's, you know, you've got Gorsh leading the team in RBIs with 41. Sanchez in the 5th spot, batting almost 460. And you've got Gorsh as well, and then Pitlick has just been that base hitting machine all year, who has been the consistent line drive hitter up the middle, through the gap, and then the vacuum cleaner at first base. And it's just been this lineup is just, it brings you to tears because it's super. It's the foundation that Coach Purdy has built as a team, and as well as what they have done throughout the years has been awesome. Gorsh just a bit under that one, and a nice play made there by Turk at first base in foul territory. A nice response here by the Viquettes, responding quickly. Rubish doing a nice job in the circle, both Raiders underneath. And now we saw a fly out to the right fielder. Rich flying out to McClintock in right field, and then Turk making a nice play in foul territory. 2 outs now for the senior first baseman, Taylor Pitlick. Ball just a bit outside and high there. But, it's up and down this lineup we've seen again and again. It's response after response after response.
And just kind of with Taylor Pitlick up to bat here, thinking about her journey, too, through the Raider softball program. She's one of those kids that she waited. She waited, and these last 2 seasons has been a phenomenal contributor to the Raiders' success. But, when you're playing behind a home run slugger, it's a little bit tough to kind of break that lineup. So kudos to her for wanting to stick with it. And, not everything comes as a sophomore, as an 8th grader. Not everything comes as a freshman. But if you continue to put the work in, your time will come.
Called strike right down the middle for Rubish there. 3-1 count here with 2 outs. 2 quick outs for the Viquettes in the field. But as we look at this Raider lineup, it's a ball-driven foul just behind the plate. But Raiders leading 3A in runs scored by over almost 60 runs with 334. Sumner Fredericksburg in second with 283. It's unbelievable. Yeah, 50 runs exactly that the Raiders, 51. Pardon me, that the Raiders lead there, and it's run difference 221. Second team 171. Sumner Fredericksburg again. Ball smoked. That's what I'm talking about. Rope after rope for Pitlick. No home runs on the season, but it's that type of hitting that she's reached base safely all year on.
Well, and when you have Taylor Sanchez behind you, you just want to find a way to get on base and let Taylor do her hitting thing and see if we can't cross the plate.
Raiders now have 6 hits as a team. Chosen 3A in class. 3A second in 3A with 356 behind Sumner Fredericksburg. Sumner Fredericksburg and Williamsburg among the top 3 in many respected categories in the class, and as well as out of all the classes in the state. Nice take there, just to see one there from Sanchez. 2 outs here for the Raiders in the bottom of the second. Rubish with a called strike on Sanchez. One thing that really makes Sanchez stand out when you look at the statistics is the discipline that she has in the box. Leads the team in walks with 22 on the season. It's one thing that she always, and we can really tell. It seems like she always takes that first pitch just to really see it. Get the spin off what the pitcher's really trying to throw her and just kind of see it.
Yeah, she's a focused hitter. Everything she kind of does has a lot of discipline in it. And a lot of that has to come from pitchers knowing what power that she has, and they're probably trying to pitch her out a little bit and to see if she'll kind of take a swing at a bad pitch, but she really does not do that.
Ball just a bit upstairs there for Sanchez here. 3-1 on the count here. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Sanchez drills one. Whoa, and it takes a nice Jim Turner bounce there in left field there. A little curl hop right into the glove of Kawali in left field. And That brings up pitcher number 17, Jersey Mets. You know, that's the plate discipline.
Yep.
You wait for your pitch and you execute. And the good old 2-out rally is executing here for the Raiders. 2 hits now for the Raiders here. Ball down in the dirt. Nice read there from both Pitlick and Sanchez on the base pads. Mets in their last at bat, singling up the middle, scoring a Raider run on the RBI. And that was just to the start of the hurrah. Raiders batting completely through the lineup, and Mets under that one, and that'll go right into the glove of shortstop Grace Fish. For the Raiders in the bottom of the second, they score no runs on 2 hits, no Viket errors in the field, and no 2 Raiders left on base. A great response there from the Vikets.
Yes,
It's, Raiders, really starting hot with that 6 runs in the first inning. But, it's for the, 8. We got 9 top, and that top of the lineup coming up for the Vikets. McClintock in the 9th spot, and then Earhart and Rubish. 9-1-2 due up in the top of the 3rd for the Vikets here. But, Raiders, we saw throughout the season, we've seen a lot of up and downs. We've seen a lot of splits. We saw that Mount Vernon split earlier in the year. We saw a couple of losses earlier to Ames, and we saw a couple of those losses as well. But recently the Raiders have really reflected it in the season strong, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wish that we would have had that Cedar Rapids-Kennedy matchup on Saturday after kind of that lull of the 4th of July, but they responded well to a tough Cedar Rapids Prairie team, got that sweep on Monday night, and long softball game. When a softball game takes longer than a baseball game, it's a long night. And I know those girls had a long day in general, so it's been, they've been consistent all season. Just kind of going back to this last inning, I'm sure Coach Birdie's like, hey, we just want to get line drives and ground balls. Pop flies are not going to be our friend. Most high school players can can of corn, right?
Yes.
So we want to make sure we can put that ball on the ground and make those teams make tough plays.
182 people on the live stream. New comment coming in. Jeff Willie, you two do great work. I'm telling you, over the years, the shiniest bus in Iowa County goes to the one and only Jeff Willie. I'm telling you, you will not find a shinier bus in the history of Williamsburg athletics. Oh, my gosh.
Need to get him on the air. Talk about a voice.
Oh, my gosh. Talk about one of the best auctioneers I know. Sitting in the locker room with Coach Knoop at a basketball halftime and all you're 25, 30, 30. He's iconic. And he's honestly, two of the guys that I always looked up to when I was announcing, was the repetition of kind of the voice of Jeff, and then Mr. Shapansky, kind of just the statistics and kind of the things that he showed me. It's great. And when you hear a voice like that, you don't hear voices like that because auctioneers are very hard to come by.
It's pretty amazing.
And it's super awesome. But Jeff, thanks for tuning in. All the awesome comments, and the ball driven right towards Mets, right out of the glove, and a nice flip and play there by Sanchez to hold on. And I thought, it was a quick play there.
I was kind of nervous that Taylor wouldn't, she fielded it with her glove. Maybe Coach Birdie needs to give her some bare hand tips. Still scoops in her glove, still able to get
just
out.
Reach over, full on grab it, do the.
Great reaction by Taylor there, and way to stop the ball with.
And that's the quick reflexes that you have to have as a second baseman, the twitchy instincts that you have to make those quick plays, and that was executed great. Nice pitch there by Mets to start off the at bat. Back to the top of the lineup for the Vikets, and center fielder number 2, Camden Earhart. Earhart with the lone hit for the Vikets here so far. A line drive single almost into the glove of Ava Hooker to start the game, but bounced right in front of her. Nice take there. Moving the count to 1-1. 1 out here for the Raiders. McClintock driving a ball right out of the glove of Mets, and then Sanchez with a nice play at second. But 9-1-2 due up here for the Vikets. Rubish on deck, the pitcher. Mets with a nice pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. 1-2 count here. I came with my neighbor Doug Carr tonight, and if you guys have gone through the Williamsburg CSD website on a lot of the pictures on Bound, Doug has taken all of those pictures.
Oh, wow.
He is one of the most experienced and one of the best photographers I know, and he just submitted a couple of pictures to the Iowa County Fair. Most likely will submit a couple of photos to the Iowa State Fair.
Okay.
The one of my favorites is when you walk into the wrestling room and Coach Eckenrod and the team. It was during a duel to send them to state, and everybody's just jumping. It's one of Coach X's jumps in the air, and
Okay.
it's captured every morning. So many nice pictures at West End Park. Great
cool that we
basketball
have that,
photos, and he's left
for-
and right. Well, the lenses that he uses, and just some of the fantastic pictures. But all the pictures that you see around the websites and on Bound are courtesy. I'd say 70 to 80% of those photos are courtesy of him, and
Okay.
he has done such a great job. Now, Doug Carr, Chris Landit has taken some great pictures as well.
You guys
Huge
give a
shout out during the
to
football season. Oh my gosh.
Stoner Productions.
Oh,
as
Stoner
well. You know,
Productions.
we're waiting
Stoner
for a
Productions is the
great-
best. He is, for a kid that's a junior in high school, for the editing and things that he is doing right now. I wish people realize the amount of work and dedication that he puts in, because layering, editing, working on audio, working on color correcting, the amount of time that he puts into his craft, it's unlike any junior in high school you will see. It's the things that he is doing is unlike a lot of people out there.
And that one just kind of snuck under Mac's glove, and Carly got the backhand, but that would have been an incredible play for Carly to get a base runner out that deep into left field. So good job, Carly, just stopping the ball from going into the left field.
Yeah, we've got 2 outs. Both teams responding with 2 outs. We saw 2 quick base hits from the Raiders in the bottom of the second, and then a infield single there for Rubish. And that'll bring up, again, pinch runner for the pitchers, number 1, Kara Rollinger. Rollinger on the base pads this season, 0 for 1, 5 total bags on the season, but just someone that Rubish can get a break from before she goes out on the mound. And it looks like a foul ball. Looked like a foul ball off the bat there of Kowali. But, you know, there's the off speed there of, and that's such a dangerous pitch that Mets utilizes. Mets stats on the season coming into this one: 19 games started and 23 games played, 15-5 record with 104 2/3 innings pitched, 35 errors given up, 14 walks is the one stat that I really think. Not walking very many batters, and 72 strikeouts with a 2.34 ERA. The Raiders really relying on 3 pitchers this season. I really think those pitchers have executed well.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah, and
great, Steph.
It's been fun to see them pick each other up, you know, in certain doubleheaders. You know, to kind of go back to Monday night's game, I thought Braley Plotz might have pitched one of her better games of the season against a tough opponent in a 4A school like that. So, you know, now it's kind of one of those things where, you know, between Braley and Kaylin Becker, that they're there to support the jersey and maybe a couple innings here and there. We saw that in the state tournament last year. So, you know, they're going to stay fresh. They're going to be ready to go. And it's certainly a huge key to the success that the Raiders have had all season. And a lot of teams will be in those same boats.
And, you know, you've seen Mets being that consistent, keen pitcher in Game 1. You know, we've seen Plotz throughout the season, you know, walking a few batters, but then staying calm and collecting those wins later in the season. And then Kaylin Becker really being that bullpen piece that has just
I
been
don't know how
great.
she does it. Yeah, ice
It's
in her
just-
veins.
it's-
You know, she's
Playing those level 2 games and then coming into pitch every night is just extraordinary.
and she comes in. You know, there's been a couple games where, you know, the Jersey started the game. We've been ahead by quite a bit, so she's come and done the closing in the last couple innings. Whether that was to let Jersey take a little rest to maybe come in at the end of a game 2, but certainly Kaylin coming in tough spots. So that just says a lot about her as a person and just certainly as a competitor. Not afraid of much. Even though she might be shaking in her boots, you can't tell. I don't know.
For the Raiders in the bottom of the third, 6, 7, 8. Pardon me, 7, 8, 9 for the Raiders here in the home half of the third. Spratt, Allen, and Hooker due up for the Raiders. Called strike right in the inside corner for Rubish. Spratt in her last at bat, scoring her younger sister, Keston, with a liner down the left field line for a 2-out double. The rally started with that Mets single up the middle. An exchange there.
Just couldn't
Spratt
get it out
getting
of her
back on the
glove
base.
and-
You know, that
Yep.
was a tough play there for Fippen at third base. It looked like it got buried in her glove there. The kind of the exchange there kind of kind of got lost to an unforced error there for the Viquettes in the field, but that's the one thing we've been talking about, and we've seen it at the state tournament there in the past a couple seasons at Fort Dodge, is that you can't let the Raiders get on base. The speed is ever so dangerous, but, you know, Bridgewater behind the plate has done a very good job for the Viquettes all night long, really being a wall back behind, and, you know, it's one thing that we've seen, and, you know, Raiders as a team here in Class 3A, second in the state, 147 stolen bases on the season. Another called strike in the outside corner to Allen. Nice pitch there from Rubish. But Allen 0-2 here. Allen with a bloop single over Turk's head over first base. 0-2 count here. 6-1 lead here for the Raiders. No runs have been scored here since the first inning. Allen with a shot towards left field, and that'll be a runner for some of those kids out there to run back to the dugout there. Allen on the season here. The freshman coming in with a 400 average and 30 at-bats, 18 hits, 12 of those, 18 runs, 12 hits, 12 of those hits being singles, and then 1 home run and 3 RBI. Steph and I got to watch that home run, the pinch hit home run earlier this season, which was really a great experience, and the whole crowd went wild, which is so awesome. 0-2 count, Allen fouling off a couple pitches here. Rubish in the circle with the pitch. Ball just a bit downstairs there. Spratt reaching second safely on the stolen base. Both Spratts now have a stolen base. Callan Spratt now 13 of 14 on the season in stolen bases. Raiders have only been thrown out 12 times this season. 509 total bags on the season coming into this matchup.
And I would guess of those 12, maybe some of them were some accidental, maybe not, trying to get that third base runner to get home on those first and third opportunities. So
nice pitch there from Rubish to get the strikeout on Allen. Looked like a little bit of a rise ball or a high fastball action there. I don't. Rubish really is not. Yeah, and she's not. She's used to striking people out. Her 108th strikeout on the season. Hooker looking like she wanted to square up for a bunt there. But Rubish getting Allen down on a swinging strike 3 for the first out. Spratt on second after the error by the Viquettes in the field. Sun's starting to go down here, 8:04. We'll give you guys the first alert weather forecast here shortly. A nice play there made by the Viquettes. Their bunt hit just a little too hard off the bat of Hooker there, but you know what? Advances the base runner and moves Spratt up to third base now. 2 outs. Nice field and play there by Turk. And thrown there to Fippen there to retire. But, you know, Steph, another base runner, up another couple feet there and back to the top of the lineup.
When you get someone to third base, it could be a pass ball. Again, you could get a fielding error. She scores. So we'll let Mac kind of do her thing up to bat here and see if we can't get another run across the plate.
Ball's just a bit upstairs there. You know, the Raiders in the bottom of the first had a lot of their damage with 2 outs. Ball just a bit inside there. We said earlier, 55 of 58 now for Hughes on the base pads. Hughes batting a .434 and 113 at-bats, 49 hits, 36 of those being singles, 3 home runs and 22 RBI. Ball drilled right back towards Rubish, and that ball looked like it came out of her hand a little weird.
Oof, she had to protect herself there.
Great response there from Viquettes, and another scoreless inning. Raiders still lead 6-1. The last 2 frames have been scoreless here. Great defense by both teams here, but for the Raiders in the bottom of the third, they score no runs on no hits. 1 error in the field for the Viquettes and 1 Raider left on base. You know, Steph, you look at these first 3 innings of ball, it's a close game. We saw the Raiders respond. We just need the Viquettes maybe to add 1 more run here, and then the Raiders respond then with a quick run rally here to get the offense rolling here. But what have you seen?
Yeah, just, they're still playing solid Raider softball. And, again, I think Vinton-Shellsburg's come out. They have nothing to lose, so they're going to be aggressive at the plate. we're still making really great plays in the field and let Jersey do what Jersey does and let him put the ball in play or get some strikeouts. So we got the colorful hats tonight too. I don't know if people can see that in left field, but got the cowboy hats. They have a thing. I've never really asked them.
It looks
about
like
the
we've
fun
got
hats, but
looks like we got either Bob the Builder's handyman hat.
Yeah.
We got some 4th of July hats. I think there was like a taco hat earlier this year or something, but we even got some of the high school guys out there in the student section out there. We've heard a couple chants out there,
got
but
some
it is
white
full
wife
here.
beaters.
Yes,
So
the white feeder's on out there. But yeah, left field is full. Center field is full. That whole outfield of Raiders and Viket fans left and right here. But Raiders lead 6-1 as the sun starts to go down here. Speed pitch there. A little drop ball there from Metz, just a little bit low. Due up for the Vikets in the top of the 4th. Fish, Bridgewater, and Turk. 4-5-6 for the Vikets here. Metz with the 1-0 pitch. And that'll be the ball driven out over the head of Ness. And it might hit up near here, but no, it doesn't. I thought that one might have
hit the grill
rolled.
back there.
Might have hit the grill,
golf cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an awesome crowd out here tonight, which, again, all season we've had fantastic crowds, so it's been fun to see that outfield all filled up, and sorry to the neighbors for all the extra cars and parking. Ooh, just off of Taylor's glove there. She had just a little bit more of a hop, we'd be good to go.
Yeah, great hit there. That's what your coaches want, and Coach Fish, the execution there. From there, I most likely think Grace Fish would be the daughter of head coach Adam Fish. Most likely there, and the right center approach there with the single driven in to right field, and a great start here for the Vikets in the top of the 4th. Nice pitch there from Metz to start the at-bat here. Fish with the leadoff single to start off the top of the 4th, and that brings up catcher number 8, Taylor Bridgewater.
I see West Stoner right down here, getting some video coverage.
Ball driven into left field, and that'll hit the gap, and that'll Bridgewater run into second.
Got her.
A great hit by Bridgewater there.
I thought he had her out.
We're gonna get a time here. Coach Fish most likely wanting. Hughes might have been in the base pads here. We're going to get a talk between both umpires to see here, but a great hit by Bridgewater down the left field line for a stand-up double. Coach Fish wanting to talk with the umpires just about if Hughes was just a bit in front of the bag there with interference, but the runner is called out.
Yeah, that's
Allie
a tough.
It's a tough break.
I've seen it called at home several times throughout the season, which I kind of feel like it's easy to see at home. In the base path, I haven't seen it. I thought McKenna was up enough. I mean, you've got to be able to give the defense an opportunity to make a play on the ball. And as an offensive base runner, you have the option to slide outside of the base path a little bit too. So just a great play by Allie and Mac to get her out at third.
The relay there, and the outfield technique there, perfection.
Yep.
Gorsh has had that perfect fielding percentage all season long. And it's crazy to see you grab the ball and just a fire.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I wish we had some advanced statistics to see how fast did she throw that. What was the angle of that throw? But, right on the money there for Hughes to make the tag. But
yeah, because she really threw that from the warning
yeah,
track.
right from the warning track.
Yep.
One hop and toss. Ball driven down
It's
towards the left field line. That'll roll foul. But the Raider defense responding, but the Viket offense here in the top of the 4th. Quickly doing some damage. Fish with the open single in the top of the 4th, followed by the Bridgewater double into left field, but great throw there by Gorsh in left field to get Fish out at third. 0-1 count here. Pinch runner at second base for the catcher, Bridgewater. It's number 15, Olivia Boysen. Boysen on the season, 4 for 4 stolen bases when it comes to running. And Turk as a batter, a 153 average, 11 strikeouts, no home runs with 12 RBIs. Slow roller towards Sanchez at second base. And that'll retire Turk for the second Raider out. 2 outs here for the Raiders in the top of the fourth. As we get an update here, it has turned out to be an amazing night here for Raider playoff softball. 78 degrees. It's just a couple of rain showers up north and south. We got a real nice cloudburst this morning. It started raining right before I started work, and I thought I was going to be in jeopardy for the game tonight. But I'm telling you, Coach Birdie was on his hands and knees with the manual vacuums. I'm telling you, he was probably here at 6:30 in the morning getting this field ready, and it couldn't. He had just looking when I passed by in the morning. There's a huge puddle behind second, a huge puddle right at shortstop where Carly's standing. And then right behind, like the pitch, right behind the bullpen, it was just flooded. Get by lunch, it's basically all clean. I'm telling you, he.
I never complain about
I don't either.
Sweep a gym floor or something like that, because I know between Coach Birdie and Coach King and their staff, they got to get the field ready. We don't have an entire staff here in Williamsburg that is dedicated to these diamonds, and so it's up to the coaches and.
Yeah, we don't have our grounds crew. We don't have our grounds crew.
Maybe for next season,
maybe some of these kids.
Yeah, that would be a good
great.
point.
I don't know how much it would cost just to do a little third inning or fourth inning stretch, and some of the kids just running around with the sweepers just to give a mid-inning cleanup on the infield. But it was great that they got the field ready for softball action. Slow roller towards Hughes at third base. Rifle throw towards Pitlick at first, and that'll retire the Vikettes in the top of the fourth. For the Vikettes in the top of the fourth, they scored no runs on 2 hits, no Raider errors in the field, and 1 Vikette error. 1 Vikette runner left on base. Raider lineup back to the heart. 3 scoreless frames here for Mets. Started off with those runs. Vikette offense was clicking here in the top of the fourth, but that Raider defense showing why they're one of the best in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, like I said, Vikettes have nothing to lose, trying to get some extra base runners when you're down 6-1. You want to try to get as close to home plate as possible. So not a bad idea by the base runner, and certainly coach to get her to third. Just a better throw by Allie Gorsh there to get her out. So we're going to start this bottom of the fourth. Got Carly, Allie. I'm sure Allie's upset with her last at bat, so we're going to expect big things from her, and then Taylor Pitlick. So senior. Like to talk about one senior. I'd like to talk about all of them. We could probably just talk about them. Maya Simmons, you kind of see her out there playing catch, got a brace on her knee. Unfortunately, mid-season this year, went down with an ACL tear. To make things worse, she was just coming back from the other ACL. So heart goes out to her, but it's been really awesome to see her support of her teammates, her friends, and certainly, again, Raider softball wouldn't be where it's at without Maya
An
Simmons.
ACL tear, it's a long recovery process, and it just shows the grit, though. Having surgery and still playing catch with your teammates and being alongside them, which is it's really cool what Simmons is doing, but just shows the culture of what the team has built throughout the season. 0-1 count here, 2-3-4 due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the fourth. Rich, Gorsh, and Pitlick do it for the Raiders. Like Steph said, the 3 seniors.
There we go, get down. There
Carly
we go.
with a shot into the gap. That'll be a stand-up double for the senior. A great start to the bottom of the fourth.
There we go. Good. Got
Rich with the double, her 7th double on the season.
Usually don't see her hit the ball to left field very often, so it's been the last couple games she's been able to hit that little bit of gap there between center and left. Certainly she's been putting in some work, getting some extra batting in outside of practice like a lot of these girls, but certainly showed that work that she's putting in there.
Yeah, as we've seen from the Raiders all season, right now the left center gap has been the cornerstone. We've seen a hooker double. We've seen it's the whole left side of the field, honestly. We saw the Spratt double. We saw the hooker double. We saw the stand-up double from Rich to start the inning. And a whole lot of Gorsh's home runs and bombs have gone to that left side of the field. Ball just a bit upstairs, moving the count.
I wish we had one of those when you see on TV, like the spray chart of like where we hit the ball. That'd be fun to have. I don't know if we have the technology. I'm sure Coach Birdie has it somewhere.
Yeah, he's got the spray charts of all the team, the scouting reports, all the things. But, you know, it's nice pitch there by Rubish. On the outside corner. 1-2 count here for the senior. Of course, made a fantastic play in left field in the last half. A ball right on the warning track. One-hop throw to get the Viket runner advancing. Waiting for the pitch. Look back. A nice play made there by Fippen at third base, but the speed of Rich will move her up to third. Great job there by Gorsh. You know, not the outcome she's wanting, but, you know, moves the runner, moves the runner up a base pad, and it brings up base hitting machine.
Yep, got the ball on the ground. Carly was kind of in the middle of that base path, and, you know, again, for the Vikets, they're probably just want, hey, let's get the easy out. And here we go with our little safe.
I am telling you, you could have not laid a more perfect bunt than that. I'm telling you, the soft dirt may have helped it a little bit there, but I'm telling you, there was a little bit of sidewinder action on there, but that hit the most perfect part of the bat there from Pitlick and dropped. And Pitlick reaches first safely.
He's going to do, typically his path has been let Taylor get on base and then maybe do a pinch runner for her, using her wheels to get down the baseline there. Now, what do you actually call that? Is it a suicide squeeze? What do we call that?
You know, it could be in the sake of that. You know, it can be a suicide squeeze with the run scoring. It can be a sacrifice bunt. It can be.
Because Carly's leaving before.
With Carly leaving, it's sometimes in that fashion. With Carly leaving after the bunt is placed down, it can be in the fact of a suicide squeeze. Yes.
And that takes guts to do.
Yes.
And, you know, not a lot of teams are willing to do that, and certainly the Raiders have practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced it.
I would really like to know the total amount of bunts that the Raiders put in the offseason, because you see it left and right. You don't see a lot of teams around the state of Iowa bunt as much as the Raiders do.
I know, and it's become such a thing where my mom now thinks that every team should do a bunt, and I'm like, well, not everybody can just bunt as well as what the Raiders have put on. And even Monday night, it was fun to see Jordan Skaggs come in. She caught the second game, laid down two or three bunts, and got on base from one of them. So just even everybody that comes in out of the dugouts prepared to make that sacrifice.
And that's one thing that the Raiders do, you know, up and down the lineup. It can be a pinch hitter. They're laying down a bunt. Yep. It can be any little thing that they do. Ball smoked.
Watch out, King.
Towards the left field line. You know, I was worried. You can see my Malibu parked right.
What are you
right
doing
there.
parking there?
I was in a rush.
Oh, okay.
I got here at 6:57. You know, I was.
Good thing the game was delayed.
I know. I probably shouldn't.
That's why that spot was open.
I know.
Yeah.
There have been a couple balls close there. I don't think anything's going to be close there. But a ground out there moves the runner up. On base pad, Sanchez grounds out right back to Rubish. The pitcher to first base, ground out.
You think Tinley's going to give her sister some grief about not being on the base at the same time? So
you know, we saw Keston score from the double of Callan, but you know, she may give her a hard time. Why didn't you hit me in, sis? Like it could be that outcome. Raiders lead 7-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. Called strike there on the outside corner. Nice throw by Rubish there. 0-1 count. Vicat still battling in a close game here. Ever since the first inning, the Raider damage has been limited. Ball in the dirt there. Nice read there by Sanchez at second. Rubish has done a good job ever since that first inning, has really changed things up in the approach that she's had from the circle. 2 scoreless frames in the second and third, and then that 1 Raider run scoring in the bottom of the fourth off of the bunt from Pitlick. Nice eye there from Metz. 6-run advantage here for the Raiders. So far, the Raiders 6 hits, 7 runs, and that ball is smoked over the head of Kowali, and that'll score. Sanchez standing up. We've seen the consistent hitting of Metz, and we have seen it tonight.
Yep.
Single up the middle, and then another 2-out double over the head of Kowali. Raiders now lead 8-1.
And we get Keston Spratt. Yeah, that is the beauty of having a pitcher that can really hit the ball, is that you automatically get that courtesy runner in. So we'll have Keston Spratt on the base path, and hopefully Callan can do it again and get her sister across the plate.
Right fielder number 5, Callan Spratt up. You can hear that Raiders student section out in left field giving support here. Raiders lead 8-1. Runs finally starting to come across the board here. Raiders 8 runs on 9 hits here this evening. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Just a bit outside there. Nice pitch there by Rubish. Sister-to-sister connection here. Keston on second. And her senior sister Callan now hitting. 1-0 delivery. A swing and a miss there. Spratt wanted that one, just a little bit out in front on that one, but 1-1 count here. 8:22 on the clock. But you know, it's all just a bit upstairs there. 185 people watching this evening. Yeah, that's
spreading
just,
the word, or
it's, you know, I told a lot of people around town today. I was like, tune in to Williamsburg CST live streaming. I'm like, it's going to be a great evening of action. A little up there. A nice eye there from Spratt. Real close call there, but just a bit upstairs there for Rubish. 3-1 count here for Spratt. The other Spratt on second base. 2 outs here. 3-1 delivery here from Rubish. Swing and a miss there. Nice pitch there. Full count now for Rubish. A big pitch here, Steph. You know, 8-1. You know that run rule advantage can come within the next few innings that the Raiders execute. Ball smoked right back at us. I'm telling you, I'm catching that one. I'm catching that one. You know, it's a huge pitch because you got to keep this inning running. You know, we've seen those run rules happen.
Vinton-Shellsburg, you want to keep extending it, and
at 10
if
after
you're the fans,
4.
you want to maybe keep extending it just for keep the evening going. But as Coach Birdie, he probably wants to end it.
Yes. 3-2 count here. And a great eye there from Spratt, and a full count walk here with 2 outs.
Selfishly, I was so glad. Of course, I wanted to hit, but a walk. But now we get to have senior Abby Beatty up to bat in a pinch hit situation here. And Abby, a senior, again, one of those kids that has stayed with it, maybe doesn't get all the playing time that she would have loved, but there was nothing better 2 weeks ago at that CCA game when she stepped up to the plate and just got some huge singles.
I'm telling you,
runs.
designated player.
Yep.
You know, I saw Pilcher on Twitter. I'm like, whoa, Beatty's in the lineup.
Yeah.
And I look at the stats at the end of the game. I'm like, 3 for, holy smokes.
Yep.
Unbelievable. It's crazy what she did that game.
Yeah, it was, a lot of fun to see, and, certainly something that hopefully she was very proud of, because, again, it kind of changed the turn of that game. And certainly I don't think the CCA coach was like, who's this kid that stepped up and just kind of, poked it out to right field. So certainly fun for her. We talked about Allie's kind of practice swings being so hard and fierce. Abby's the complete opposite, and she's super fun, as you can see her dancing here. I wish I knew this kid a little bit more than, but
I gotta say that'd probably be me too.
Yeah.
It's hitting the moonwalk before you're at bat.
Yeah. She seems like a fun spirit for sure. So she plays relaxed and.
We're going to get a change here. McClintock now catching for the Viquettes. And a new pitcher in the circle for the Viquettes here. Number 8, Taylor Bridgewater. Bridgewater was the catcher. Coming into this one, 2-16 record on the season, 82 innings pitched, 140 hits given up, 80 errors, 61 strikeouts with a 6.83 ERA. Both Spratt sisters on the base pads now here with 2 outs. Raiders have scored 2 runs on 2 hits this inning. But up and down the lineup, we've seen for the Vikets here through 3 2/3 here. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors in the field, and 3 runners on base. And for the Raiders, 8 runs on 9 hits, 1 error in the field, and 6 runners left on base. So
kind of a tough transition here. I mean, as Bridgewater was just catching, it really hadn't thrown any warm-up pitches, but, you know, we've kind of talked about her arm from behind the plate, so it'll be fun to see how she kind of takes this moment and switches over to being on the mound.
Bridgewater now in the circle here. You can hear the student section in left field cheering on Beatty. 2 outs. The senior now batting. A called strike for Bridgewater for the first pitch, and a great start here for Bridgewater. Pitching change. Rubish did a great job in the circle. But a pitching change, you know, the Vikets really have had 2 consistent arms throughout the entire season. A called strike in the inside half, and a nice pitch there from Bridgewater. 0-2 count here with 2 outs. 2 Raiders on, the Spratt sisters on base. Here, Coach Dacey gives some confidence from up here in the box. And a little bit of a late swing there, but Beatty staying alive there. The foul ball towards the Raider sponsors there in right field. A cool, breezy evening here, and it's so nice to have the fan up here to cool us off because these press boxes can get a little bit warm. 0-2 here for Bridgewater in the circle. Beatty with a foul ball just a bit inside, and that'll advance both runners. The Spratt sisters moving up a base pad. Keston on third, Callan on second here. Beatty's got 2 runners on here, 2 outs. A huge opportunity here for the Raiders with 2 outs. 1-2 delivery here from Bridgewater. Ball just a bit downstairs, and that'll be a dead ball. And ball will hit the ground, and you can see the reaction in left field from the Raiders. You can see the shirts being thrown in the air, and that'll load the bases here for the Raiders.
Hey, she did her job.
She did her job.
Yeah, that was a tough spot for her to be in because she's down 0-2. And then gets on base, loads it up for Ava. 1 swing of the bat here, we could end this night. That'd be kind of fun.
We're going to see a resubmission there for the Raiders after Beatty's hit by pitch. Kylie Allen re-entering the game now as a designated player. Bridgewater 2 outs, now batting center fielder Ava Hooker. Ball just a bit outside there, nice eye there from the 9-hole hitter. In Hooker. Hooker drilled a double into the left center gap earlier in this game and has stayed consistent all evening long. 1-0 delivery from Bridgewater. The ball just upstairs there. McKenna Hughes in the top of the lineup, sitting on deck here with 2 outs. 2-0 count here. Bridgewater really started off when she came in for relief from Rubish with 2 quick strikes, but a couple of balls here lately. And a ball just upstairs there. Got to find the groove here. You know, when you're Bridgewater here, just deep breath in the circle, really kind of refine your focus, get your pitch. And, you know, you never know here with 2 outs. You know, sometimes the green light on 3-0 is something you can look for. And that'll be a called strike right down the middle. Hooker wanting to see one before she committed. 3-1 count here for Bridgewater. Hooker with a nice at-bat here. Raiders have the bases loaded. Allen on first, Spratt on second, another Spratt on third. The ball driven out of play towards the bullpen, up and over, where me and Steph are commentating in the Jim Turner press box here. Raiders lead 8-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-2 count here for Hooker. Big opportunity for both teams here. And a ball driven towards shortstop, and that'll be a catch.
Ava just wanted to play some more softball. It's okay. Yeah. I think it would have been nice to get that 1 run in, to get that 8-run rule, but still just kind of a good piece of hitting all around. Good at bats by the Raiders.
It would have been
those two runs.
the 10 after 4 here.
It would
So
have been the 10
yeah,
after
it's 8
4.
after 5.
Yeah,
So
8 after 5. Yeah.
Raiders going to that one. You know, Raiders respond with 2 runs there, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors in the field for the Viquettes, and 3 Raiders left on base. So great response there from the Raiders to add on a couple, but just a few runners left on base there. Raiders, though, in the bottom of the 5th will come up with the top of the lineup. 1, 2, 3 here. Coach Fish giving some encouragement from the dugout. Mets still in the circle here for the Raiders coming into the 5th. You know, for the Viquettes here coming into the top of the 5th, Steph, you know, response has got to be a quick key. What do they got to do here?
Yeah, they got to, for the Viquettes, they got to find some runs. You know, the innings are kind of running short for them, and Jersey's still been very consistent. Us defensively, you know, Lily's doing a great job behind the plate, and you know, really just outside of our 1 error, it really just hasn't. We've had complete control over the defense.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the Viquettes, number 22, Addison. Pardon me, no, 891 for the Viquettes. Pardon me, guys, I'm sorry. 891 here for the Viquettes in the top of the 5th. And Fippen, McClintock, and Earhart here for the Viquettes here. Raiders lead 8-1. Early on, the winner of this game will move on to round 2 and face the winner of Iowa Falls Alden and the Benton Bobcats. The ball just a bit upstairs there. 4 Mets there. 8-9-1 here for the third baseman. Addison Fippen coming into this one. Fippen on the season and 58 at bats. 7 hits on the season, 6 of those being singles, batting a 121 on the season. And then number 14, the catcher, Zoe McClintock on deck. And back to the top of the lineup. 1-1 after the foul ball. A nice pitch there from Mets, but just a bit upstairs. A nice eye there from Fippen to hold up. Starting to get a little bit more dark here at Jim Turner Field. Lights are on. Sun's starting to go down. 2-1 count here. And this is when everybody gets real happy on the scoreboard on the live stream because they can finally see the scoreboard in just that little tiny frame. They can see everything, but a great pitch there from Mets. Off speed getting Fippen out in front of that one. 2-2 count here from Mets. Ball just a bit downstairs.
Trying to see if we can find any scores just via Game Changer, but not.
Full count here for Mets. And Fippen swinging a miss there for Fippen, and that'll be the first out for the Raiders. Batting in the 9-hole for the Viquettes catcher, number 14, Zoe McClintock.
Were there any games that were completely postponed that are happening tomorrow?
Some games up north did get postponed until tomorrow. But, you know, it's kind of crazy with the rain showers that are supposed to come tomorrow as well. So, you know, with playoff games, it's really important to get the games as soon as you can. And luckily tonight the rain held off here at Williamsburg to get this game fully through. You know, Raiders will be back in action here on Saturday if they do win. Ball just a bit upstairs there. Nice eye there from McClintock. McClintock on the season, 133 average. 8 hits, all of her hits being singles. Batting in the 9 spot here in the top of the 5th for the Viquettes. Ball driven out towards shallow right center field, and Sanchez with the routine play made right on the inside part of the grass for the second out. I'm just going to tell everybody, I'm just going to go up and down the statistics for the Raiders right now. You know, second in 3A in average at a 392. First in 3A in RBIs at 272. Stolen base is second with 147. Fielding percentage coming in to tonight first with a .969. First in runs scored with 334. First in run difference in 221. Runs scored 321. First in Class 3A. Second in Class 3A with 356 hits. Third in Class 3A with 260 singles. Fourth in Class 3A, tied with Atlantic with 15 triples. Second in Class 3A with 509 total bases. Just up and down. And there's so many more statistics that I could go off of. But it's so unreal up and down. You know, statistics don't matter to this team because they are so consistent out
I think we might
and
have
on the
a
field. But we
3-2.
got an
with
update
Benton,
here.
But looks
Looks
like
like a delay
yeah,
here, though.
maybe
But
some rain.
the Bobcats are leading. Iowa falls 3-2 in the bottom of the third. Looks like we got a delay. Shout out to Steph finding
That was a
the
lot of work.
game's on game changer. Hey, you sometimes have to dig and find
Yeah.
a lot of those games. 1-2 count here with 2 outs. Back to the top of the lineup for the Vikets, and Earhart ball down low, moving the count to 2-2. Great pitch there from Metz to see if she could get Earhart to chase there. 2-2 count, 2 outs. The 2-2-2 on the scoreboard here. 8-1 lead here for the Raiders in the top of the fifth. Metz with the 2-2 delivery. A great pitch there from Metz. She wanted that one as well. Moves the count to 3-2. Full count here. A nice eye there. Had a tough take there for Earhart right on the outside corner there, but important pitch here for Metz here. And Earhart trying to keep that Viket offense rolling here in the top of the fifth. A nice pitch
And
there from Metz. The ball was a drop third strike, but the Raiders will catch that one and go into the bottom of the fifth. Another scoreless frame for the Raiders. Defensively for the Vikets in the top of the fifth, they score no runs on no hits, no Raider errors in the field, and no Viket runners left on base. Do it for the Raiders in the bottom of the fifth. You can see that 8 after 5 rule come into effect here. You know, you've got the heart of the order back to the top of the lineup for the Raiders. Here 2-3-4 here for the Raiders, and Rich, Gorsh, and Pitlick here, 2-3-4 for the Raiders here. Saw Hughes with that 2-out walk last half. Bridgewater now in the circle here for the Vikets. Got out of the jam, only allowing the Raiders to score 2 runs there in the bottom half of the fourth. And dodging a bullet there. The Raider offense here, 2-3-4 here.
So I think if we just need the 1 run to make it the 8-run rule. So top of the lineup coming with Mac and Carly. See if they want to get to their senior night celebration. Typically don't do a senior night on a playoff game, but because of the rain on Saturday, things got pushed back, and want to make sure that these seniors get what they deserve as far as some recognition from their teammates, and
Yes.
certainly not only recognizing the players, but certainly their parents and all of the work that goes into just being a parent of a high school athlete. Up early for weights, not even to count all the softball games they played when they were 9, 10, 11, 12. So just a lot of chair time for some of these parents, and I know that they'll always be supportive of Raider softball. Some of them have some younger ones. We've talked about the Sprats and the Gorshes, but certainly it's going to be weird to look down and not see a lot of the Rich clan and McKenna's folks. I think that you get the Gorshes that sit in the outfield. I think 80 sits kind of close here, so kind of part of being a senior. You gotta, parents have a new role too.
I noted that but we are at the top of the lineup for the Raiders. Hughes leading off the bottom of the fifth. That'll be ball 4 and wheels to start. Out to start the Vikets. 4-pitch walk there for Bridgewater. Like you said, I just think it's a pipeline. It's a pipeline of the softball team.
Yep.
You know, younger sisters coming up and really proving the way and having the leadership. You know, Allie having a younger sister. Callan having a younger sister. Taylor having a younger sister. There's so many. And just an easy stolen base standing up there for Hughes. It's like we said,
Not
it's
even fair.
It's the ka-chow. It's the Lightning McQueen speed. It's like she's teleporting it to every bag. It's unreal the speed the Raiders have on the base pads. Nearly 60 stolen bases now for Hughes. Game-winning run on second base with the run rule in effect here in the 5th inning. The Vicat offense. Vicats defensively really have to be on their toes here with the speedy Hughes on second base. Rich trying maybe to lay down a bunt here. Pulls back, a nice eye there. Move to count to 3-0. 7 straight balls thrown here from Bridgewater here to open the bottom of the 5th. Not the exact start you want here.
And again,
for the pitcher, but
coming into a different position, coming from catcher right to the mound, kind of a tough spot for her to be in. And
the ball gets away, and that puts Raiders on the corners with no outs. No outs, and that brings up left fielder number 6, Allie Gorsh.
Now batting for the Raiders left fielder, Allie Gorsh.
Got a breather here in the infield just to get a reset here. Great idea just by the Vicat infielders just to kind of deep breath here, reset as they keep on things rolling here. 8-1 lead here for the Raiders. Game-winning run on third. And Hughes, Rich walks. And that brings up Allie Gorsh. We should go to Gorsh on the season coming into tonight, a .459 batting average, a 1.181 on base and slugging percentage, which is unbelievable. Ball just upstairs there. Gorsh, 5 home runs, 41 RBIs. Her 41 RBI leading the team. Runners on second and third here. Here for the Raiders, no outs. No, this is Gorsh's time now, Steph, to really find her a good at bat. You know, a couple ground outs, a fly out that she got under in foul territory earlier in this game, but this is her time to kind of flush those at bats and really find her groove. And a ball. Bridgewater, not a strike thrown yet here in the bottom of the 5th. Really trying to find her craft here in the circle. Really hard coming from catcher to pitcher. A tough transition, but battling in the circle. That'll be a ball 4, and that'll load the bases here for the Raiders with no outs. And brings up another senior for the Raiders, first baseman number 8, Taylor Pitlick. I don't know if we'll see Rubish maybe come back into the game. We may make a pitching change here for the Vicats here, but Raiders loading the bases with no outs here, and it brings up base hitting machine. Taylor Pitlick is not the sight you want to see here for the Vicats defensively.
well, yeah, and any ball put in play, you know, the Vicats are going to just have to keep this game alive. Will have to get a play made at the plate to extend the inning and keep the 8-run rule into effect. So interesting to know what Coach is kind of talking about. Probably just giving them, hey, we just got to control what we can and let's throw some strikes and see if we can't let your defense make some plays for you.
So true. I hear a lot of the Vicat parents saying, believe you guys got this. Infield will be in here for the Vicats with the force being at home. You know, we saw in that last at bat, Pitlick laying down that outstanding bunt that scored a Raider run. Called strike, and there Bridgewater finds the outside corner here for her first called strike. 0-1 count here, Raiders. The bases loaded after a couple walks here from the Vicats here in the bottom of the 5th. 8-1 lead here for the Raiders. Pitlick drills one into right field. That ball will be caught by the center fielder. And that'll score Hughes and advance the Raiders. And that one, that should end it.
Yep.
That will end it here.
1, 2, 3, 4 kind of took care of things there in the bottom of the 5th inning. So I don't know if Taylor Sanchez thinks she gets the bat, but nope, Mac let her know. Game is over.
Yeah. And that'll end it here at Jim Turner Field for the first round of playoffs here. We will await the winner of Benton and Isle Falls. Alton looks like it's still delayed here, but the Raiders win in run roll action in the bottom half of the 5th, 9-1. For the Vicats, score 1 run on 4 hits, 2 errors in the field, and leave 3 runners on base. And for your Williamsburg Raiders, they score 9 runs on 9 hits, 1 error in the field, and leave 9 runners on base. A great start to playoffs, Steph, and it's the best way the Raiders should start at this playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, you just, no game is guaranteed, so you want to always come out and play your best. And I thought overall, top to bottom, up to plate, we had some great at-bats by Taylor Pitlick. Certainly Jersey Mets hit some big hits, drove in some runs, some stolen bases, so great sacrifices all around. Ava Hooker had a nice hit to the outfield, so just kind of a great start, get that playoff energy kind of going and excitement. And the nice thing about this is that you just get one day and then boom, you're right back on the field for the next one. Hopefully the rain stays
You keep on building momentum, moving on to each round. But we saw the Raiders really, the power, the outside power, we've seen home runs really being a strong part of the Raider offense, but it was a part of we saw a lot of small ball tonight with a couple of bunts. We saw a great bump by Taylor Pitlick, and then like you noted, Steph, a lot of those base hits. Hooker's double into the left center gap. Rich is double into the left center gap. Spratt had a double down the left field line. Doubles were the manage of that Raider offense tonight, and it was so awesome that they could really find their offense collectively, and then that sacrifice fly scoring the Speedy Hughes from third, courtesy of Pitlick. So we're going to get senior night. We'll stay live until the end of senior night here.
I think so. Yeah,
it'll be pretty cool, but once again, congratulations to the Vinton-Shellsburg Vikettes on a great season. Not the season that they wanted, but a very young team based on statistics. So another team to watch out for the WAMAC. But the Raiders staying consistent and showing their consistency throughout the playoffs year after year. My car didn't get hit, which is a good thing. I will not park there again because Sanchez's foul ball nearly
we got some fireworks being
dented
lit
my car. But we got some fireworks in the background here. Oh, yeah. Got a couple.
Did you have a good 4th? Did you have some good fireworks, or did it rain up north?
Great fireworks. It was real awesome being on the boat up at Clear Lake. It was really cool to see the fireworks. Kind of a different perspective there, just kind of seeing up there, but they were so cool.
Yep.
And headed back up there tomorrow, going to a Twins game on Saturday, so should be really fun.
I'm going to be solo on Saturday?
You will be solo on Saturday.
Oh, Landon. Okay.
I know. I am sad to say.
That's okay. That's okay.
I can join via Zoom.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, shout out right now, hey, if anybody who's watching right now, Steph needs a partner on Saturday.
Yeah.
Text me, text Steph, get you guys connected. And
Corey Urian, Brad Schaefer didn't get their annual Red Sox game. Maybe we could get them to come and help out.
They could be great.
Yeah, but we'll get Grady and maybe a couple other kiddos. Maybe we'll get some of the I could reach out to some of the L3, L2 softball players, and maybe they'll be able to shine some light and give a different point of view. But I will say, we've talked about the Raiders improving so much. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that you have improved so much. You didn't say 100% one time all season, people.
My dad texted me right before this game, and he's like, LJ, go give it your 100%. And it was this exact game last year. It was the first round game.
Yep.
I'm telling you guys, I probably said 100% 35 to 40 times. And I would say it, and then I jinx myself.
Yeah.
And then all my coaches throughout the rest of the summer would be, Jepson, give your 100%. Jepson, you're looking 100%. It was the ongoing joke, and they still say it consistently. And it's a great memory because, like you said, the growth, it's just the experience that you get game after game. It's so awesome. And, Steph, I got to say, you could go professional now.
You think so?
Oh my gosh.
Well, like I told the girls union, I told them that I was doing some of this, and we'd love to be able to help out at Fort Dodge, but we are not going to hold back. We are Raider fans, so I don't think it would be a clean game.
I've talked to Paul Yeager, who usually does a lot of those calls. Wartburg alum. He's one guy that I've talked to a lot. I like talking to them just about the craft and what they've done, and it's really cool just kind of connecting with people down the road who do a lot of those state high school softball games. And
I'm telling you, 5 to 10 years, you're going to be calling.
The girls' union does a fantastic job, but I think we could call some of the best games at state softball. We bring the energy.
Have some fun.
We bring the live stream, and 200 people tonight, 500 people on Saturday, and we'll bring another. Last year that sub-state game that the Raiders we hosted, it was near almost 1,000. It was really cool.
But if we win on Saturday, you'll be back on Tuesday?
Yes, I will be on Tuesday.
Right.
I'll be back on Tuesday. I will be here on Tuesday. No matter what. But as we keep on things rolling here, we will honor the seniors here. I'll adjust the camera so we can show the seniors here.
Yeah,
But
that'd be great. I'm going to see if will the girls come up here and do it, or take the mic down there. Been down there. Okay. We'll put this out, and then hopefully folks can hear it. And yeah, that'd be great.
yeah, with the sound system, I can play around with it a little bit, but it should be able to hear Terry on the loudspeaker. So, but yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to take a little bit of a pause here, fast in between games here. In between games, wow, it's playoff games.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go help West Owner do something fast here. We'll do the senior. We'll just show the seniors here real quick, and then we get things rolling. I can stop it, Coach King. I can stop it. Oh, yeah, probably not that. You know, we'll see how long we can be live here. But senior night, we'll be right back here. Courtesy of Williamsburg CSD YouTube page. Thank you guys for joining in tonight. For Landon Jepson and Steph Dacey, this has been Williamsburg Raiders softball on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us, and please be back here on the YouTube channel. Who knows who will be here with Steph, but we will update you guys right away on Saturday for that outcome of victory between Iowa Falls, Alden, and Benton. If you guys are driving, drive home safely. If you guys are watching from home, have a great night. Take care, and we will see you on Saturday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get going here with senior night here in just a few moments. Got just a few finishing touches here to go. Give you a few ideas here on some of the success. We've got, this was passed along to me from Landon Jepson, some things he's found. Pre- and postseason school records and career milestone update for Williamsburg softball. Some of the records: McKenna Hughes, career stolen bases 188, single season stolen bases 54. That's as of this writing. There's more on that, right? Career runs 197, single season runs 48. For Adam Birdie, career milestones, also wrote this as well. 100 hits for Taylor Sanchez, Carly Rich, and Allie Gorsh. 150 hits for Taylor Pitlick and McKenna Hughes. 100 RBI for Taylor Pitlick. Jersey Mets has amassed 60 wins and 300 strikeouts. Congratulations also, Adam Birdie wrote, to the Raiders softball L2 for another great year. I believe it was 15-6 or 16-5. Awesome job, girls.
Tonight we wanted to take a moment to thank all the seniors. The first one is Carly Rich. Carly has left an unforgettable mark on this program and her teammates. For 5 years. 5 years is more than Carly is in the infield, there's never a quiet moment. Whether it's hyping up our pitchers, talking about where the cuts are going, or who's covering a steal, I can always look to her to keep everything in order. Although I will miss our pregame morning walks, turning double plays, or getting ice cream after wins, I know you are going to do big things at Warburg, and I could not be happier to witness the person you are going to become. We love you, Par Par.
Next up is Allie Gorf. Allie, ever since I first met you, I knew that it was going to be hard to watch you leave. But I could not be more grateful to have someone like you in my life that makes it so hard to see you move on. You have taught us all how important it is to be confident and proud of ourselves through all the ups and downs of the season, and we all know that you set a great example of that. It's going to be hard to watch you put on a different jersey next year, but we are all so very proud to watch you achieve your goals. We are all going to miss coming to practice and seeing a smile on your face and brightening everyone's day. I will forever cherish our moments together, and I am so beyond grateful to have met such a wonderful person that has now become one of my closest friends. I can't imagine what it's going to be like to walk on this field next year without you. Thank you for all the effort you have put into this team. It really means a lot to all of us, and we are so very proud of the impact you have made on this program. We will miss you next year.
The next senior is Abby Beatty. Abby is more than a teammate to all of us. She is an energy giver and a friend to us all. My favorite memory with Abby was this year at CCA when her dance moves were just as good as her at-bats. I know I can always crack a joke with her anytime, and she'll always put a smile on my face. We will miss you next year, Abby. Best of luck. We all love you so much.
The next senior is Taylor Pitlick. Taylor, or as we know her, TP. Having the chance to play on this team with you has been an opportunity I will never forget. You have such an influence on us younger girls, and you are not only a player with a lot of talent, but a good person who helped us all the way up to. The conversations we have with the corners or ground balls will make it your next season. I don't know what things will be like without you in other spots. Just know what you have accomplished here is unforgettable. Thank you, TP, for everything you have done for this team. I will never take that for granted. You have taught me so many lessons that I will forever cherish and hold on to as I grow. Over the years, I have been told that the time goes by too fast, so cherish every moment. And I fear that the same is true, because how can this be the last team, game, and sport that we will both be a part of? I thought this night would never come, but I am so happy for all the things you have accomplished over the years. As this night comes to a close, don't be sad because it's over. Be thankful that it happened. Thank you for sharing the love of the game with me and showing what it means to be a true role model. I value all of our time spent together on and off the field, and truly don't know what it will be like without you next year. Go to big things, but always remember where you started from. We love you so much in spot. And to the fellow seniors tonight, thank you for being outstanding examples of what it is like to be a Raider. We appreciate your all-around dedication into the sport and the team. Although this night brings sadness, I hope that you all know that you left a legacy and momentum moving into the years to follow. We love each and every one of you and wish you all the best in your next steps. Go Raiders. You have gone through so much these past 2 years, and your ability to stay positive through it all is so incredible. Maya, we are so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for getting the opportunity to be on this team with you. One of my favorite memories is getting to work with you at state last year and DoorDashing so much food. I will forever be grateful for that experience, and thank you so much for all of our great memories. Good luck next year at Iowa. Love you, Maya.
All right, how about another round of applause, not only for the seniors, but for those folks with pretty heartfelt comments. I can certainly tell you folks, this doesn't happen very often. All this right here, 50 plus years, this doesn't happen very often. I can tell you, those of us that have seen it, this is rare. So take advantage and soak this all in. We're not done yet, but enjoy it, keep going. People are going to follow you. The hardest thing, it seems, not only winning games, but bringing people to the ballpark. That's pretty hard to do this day and age, to get people to come watch you to play. That's a big accomplishment. You can be very proud of that. And you, all of you, are shining examples. Williamsburg is a good place to grow up and go to school. Very happy, very proud of you all. Congratulations. All right, we have a partial score. The Raiders will play either Benson or Iowa Falls Alden. Benton leads by a score of 5-2 in the 5th inning. Still going on. Benton